morning, friends. Good morning, good morning. Oh gosh, I've been out in the sun and I think I've caught a little bit of sun on my little cheeks. Welcome to the Coffee Run Live. We are episode 256, which is fabulous and exciting. What a beautiful and amazing Tuesday it is. As you can see, it feels like spring. It actually finally feels like spring. Hey, Jeremy. I just left you. Why aren't you doing the things that we set in, what we put in place? That's really kind of funny. Either that or you're still on your way home, which means, okay, that's fine. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is this thing about social media. So social media, as we know, is a really hungry machine, right? And it's always asking and wanting more content. Our audience wants more content. Our people, our clients, everybody always wants more, like more. And I think it's really helpful when we are putting more things out into the internet, that it helps people to get to know us. It helps them to learn if they decide if they like us or not, and if they then usually progress into this period of really trusting us. And it's just not going to happen, quite frankly, if all you're ever doing is only putting up one post a day or one post a week, or just putting up things kind of sporadically. So we all know this, right? You all know this. I know this. We all know that trust is built over time. We know that that relationships are built over time. And it's really important in terms of consistency. One of the guys in the Business Badassery Mastermind actually, hey Myrna, hey Emma, actually mentioned this earlier this week. We were talking about momentum and talking about consistency. And it's the same with anything, right? Like if you just kind of go to the gym once and you lift some weights and you think that you're going to have like really strong bicep muscles, and the chances are is that you're probably not going to see any long sustainable improvement or any increase in strength and lifting ability. It is the type of thing that requires consistency. It requires you to keep showing up. It requires you to continue growing, building, strengthening, stretching yourself, trying new things, right? In order for you to actually be able to achieve and get a result. Now, social media and marketing and building relationships is something, as we all know, because we've seen it play out in our friendships as well, it takes time to really build and grow into something that's really strong and that everybody appreciates. So having said all of that, and I had this conversation with a private client yesterday where we're talking about how, for instance, Gary Vaynerchuk, who I think is an absolute rock star, I think he's a badass, I think he's amazing at what he does, but I also think that the call out or an expectation of putting up 25 pieces of content, 25 posts, 25 things into a platform a day is fucking unrealistic, actually, to be blunt. For most people who are in solo practices, solo businesses, things like that, right? Most of us, or many of us, don't have a team of 25 people to chop up our videos, to chop up our blog posts, to chop up our social media, to do the graphic design, to go do all the things. Now, I think one of the things, like one of the unfair bars that are being set out there by some of these people who are ultra successful, which is great, but one of the bars that they're setting is not something that's necessarily realistic for the masses or for many people. Number one, we need to sleep. Number two, we don't necessarily have 25 people on staff to chop and change and do all of our stuff for us, or repurpose the content or spin it or whatever. A lot of us are doing it on our own. Now, I have a small team. I do have a social media virtual assistant, and I have a bookkeeper, and there's me, right? So a lot of the things that I will suggest to you are things that I'm literally kind of pretty much doing myself. Like, take the accounting side, like the bookkeeping side out of all of my world, because I don't want to know that side of things. There are other people much better qualified and better equipped to spend the time doing that level of detail. But from a social media perspective, what I do, and I want you to listen very carefully, because I don't want you just going, okay, let's go get a VA and we'll get them to do the thing. No. I still will write my blog. I still will create the pictures, the pre-created pictures that you guys, like the memes and stuff that go up. I create all those. I don't outsource that. What I outsource is the scheduling of that. Why? Because I believe that the stuff that you put up on the internet needs to be your words. You know it's got to be your stuff. It's got to come from you. It's part of that energy exchange thing that has to happen. I think if you're kind of posting things up that have been created by somebody else and calling them your own, that's just really naff. And I think we can do a whole lot better than that. So in terms of how I would, like, if you don't have a virtual assistant or if you don't have a PA, then that's totally fine. But if you are wanting to do it on your own and still be able to leverage social media, here's what I would do. Number one is decide and work out what is the one key core message that you are going to share today, okay? And write it in a blog. Now, the blog might be, I think this is the other thing that I want you guys to consider, like a blog doesn't have to be 900 words or 1,000 words or 4,000 words or like even 250 words. Maybe 250 words is probably about right. But it doesn't have to be really long. It can be long if you want it to be. It can be short if you want it to be. Your blogs, you're writing, your posts need to be as long as they need to be in order for you to get your message across, right? That's the rule of thumb there. So work out what it is that the key core message is going to be and write something about that. The next thing, so that's one piece of content. Now that blog gets posted in two different ways. So number one, it gets posted as a full text post on your Facebook page, let's say. And then also it can be posted on your website as a standalone blog, right? So you have got it as a text post, which might be really long, and you've also got it as a post, as a blog on your website. What you can then do with that one blog is that you can then also schedule it in for sharing later on in the day, where it actually links people back over to your website. So what that would look like is you've got a text post that's like really long, and then on your website, you post it up there, and then you share the link to that blog on your Facebook page later. And you would entitle it, like put it at the top, saying, you guys will see me do this. Like latest blog, like it takes Will, for instance. Let's say that's the name of the title. That's the title of the blog. And then I might do a short little snippet and then post the blog up there. The next thing that you can do is probably out of that blog is you can pull probably one or a good two pieces of content out of that blog that can go as standalone posts up on your page, either with or without a photo. Okay, so that we've got one blog and we've got it in 5 different ways right now. So I might put up there, for example, let's say that we're talking about social media. I might go and put a post up in Facebook saying, no one has time to do 25 individual pieces of content on social media unless you've got a massive team, and anybody who thinks that is reasonable obviously doesn't value their sleep. I'd put that up there. Or think about how you can use one piece of content in 5 different ways, right? Like that might be 2 separate things that I put up. There's no call to action in there. It's just like adding value, adding value, adding value. So there's 5 things. The next thing that you can do is so that's one piece of content that you create that you can use in 5 different ways. Then you can also do a live stream. You can email out the live stream. You could also, if it's a good live stream, guys, send it over, send the URL of your live, go and share that with Temi, T for Tom, E for Egg, M for Margaret, I for Igloo.com, Temi.com. It will transcribe your video for 10 cents a minute. All right, you'll need to go and proofread it because it is done by a machine. 10 cents a minute, you guys. So for a lot of you, I know that you don't like speaking for a really extended period of time on here. So it might cost you $1. Like if you speak for 10 minutes, it's going to cost you $1 to have that shit transcribed. And then you can do the same thing with that as what you've done through your blog, right? So you can have it chopped up and go post it. There's 10 things that we can do really simply, really, really easy out of 2 key pieces of content. To me, that gives Facebook what it really wants, which is live content going up. We give it some scheduled content because we know that sometimes people will come over to our page and they'll trawl through and like go through looking at all the things. So it gives them a really nice catalog of content of ours to consume. It's not always selling, which is really important. So this is about the messaging 10 times a day. This isn't about the selling, okay? So you've got 10 things going up a day. I actually think that that is very reasonable. I think pretty much everyone, bar no one, on your own, you can find 10 minutes to do a live stream and maybe, 20 minutes to write a blog and chop it up and share it into the places. So, social media done in about an hour a day at the absolute outside should be absolutely achievable and doable. 25 per platform is excessive. I've got no interest in suggesting that that you guys are going out and you're trying to build, Gary talks a lot about tagging people and tagging businesses and doing reach outs and things like that. That's awesome for him. In my world, I'm not going to do that. I would rather be, I don't want to go out there hunting for the business and try and drag people in. I want to add value and say, hey, like, by the way, we've got this going on if you want to enroll, if you want to buy. That's how I prefer to do things. It's what's worked really well for me. Obviously for him, it's worked really well for him doing what it is that he's doing. I just don't know that it's a standard that most of us can kind of reach and can kind of hit. So I think, just bear that in mind. So I think that is the easiest way to make social media easy, or easier. 2 pieces of content, spin them in at least 5 different ways. And there's so many more things that you can do as well, because you can put it over to Instagram, you can do picture quotes, you can put them on LinkedIn, you can put them over onto Twitter, if Twitter's a really good platform for you. You can pop them over into all of the places, but really have a look at creating 2 key core pieces of content and then chopping that up. Now, if you do happen to be in a position where you might have a virtual assistant, hey Gerda, or a personal assistant, then you can get them to do that. Then all you need to do is spend maybe half an hour a day doing the things that need to be done, and then they go off and make all of the magical things happen, right? You don't actually need to go and do all of the stuff. So what becomes really cool there is that I'm a big advocate for not outsourcing your social media content creation, okay? And I actually think it's really shit. I think we should all be really creating our own content, but then we don't have to be responsible for the dispersing of that content out there. We create it, get other people to disperse it and distribute it, right? You become the content creator, the factory, essentially. And we've got our little distribution managers going out there and putting it out into all of the places. So there you go, you guys. I don't have anything to offer you today other than go out there and be amazing and fabulous and offer lots of value out there to your people and to your audience. If you've got any questions about this, we do have a traditional Q&A Wednesday. When I get questions through, I generally answer those for you on a Wednesday. So make sure they come through. There is a ton of free stuff floating out there at the moment. I've got the $1 Million Success Mindset audio course that you get a little taster in. That's over on my website, which is nicolamoras.com.au/free, FREE. There's journaling prompts, there's content creation tools, there's a whole bunch of stuff over there. So if you're looking for some more free resources, jump over in there and check them out. Otherwise, get out there, go and be amazing, go help some people, have fun doing it. And remember, the world is ready for your brand of awesomeness. I will talk with you all tomorrow, which will be hopefully another very lovely spring day. I'll talk to you tomorrow, guys. Bye. Mwah.